Hi, my name is Katibe Simmone. I'm an advanced channeler of light beings. I'm also a soul evolution coach, a workshop facilitator, speaker, and author. My mission is to help you evolve to your best life. What I'm going to do today is share an extraordinary out-of-body experience I had that ended at 5:24 a.m. this morning, July 16th. I like to share my extraordinary out-of-body experiences from time to time to help others learn and understand this subject better so that they are not confused and so that they can learn how to navigate themselves through their own out-of-body experiences. Before I do that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my background. Many people are interested in hearing how I got to be where I am today. I had a spiritual awakening in 2009. And from that, I realized that I am an eternal, immortal consciousness having this earthly, human, physical existence for my highest evolution. And that is to evolve into a divine being expressed of unconditional love. And when I had my spiritual awakening in the spring of 2009, my world changed and I left corporate slowly over a period of years and devote myself to this type of work. I began to develop extrasensory perceptions like clairvoyance, which is the ability to see images and visions either inside your mind or in the environment around you that no one else can see. I also developed the extrasensory psychic perception of clairaudience, which is the ability to hear things inside your mind, which others around you cannot hear. They can be words, they can be sounds, they can be music. For me, it shows up many times as telepathy, where I'm actually able to hear words. And you may hear me say that during this video. When I'm saying I'm hearing something, I'm actually receiving something telepathically. And another enormous change that occurred for me in 2009 as a result, direct result of my spiritual awakening, is that I started to experience having out-of-body experiences lucidly. My dream time changed dramatically. My sleep time changed, and I became a lucid dreamer. I don't remember all my dreams, but there are always, usually I would say 95% of the time, I can remember one or two upon waking. And a lucid dreamer is one who can remember vividly the details of their experience and even control it. Since 2009, since my spiritual awakening, I had started having numerous out-of-body experiences, and it often left me confused, and I did not know how to handle them, to be honest with you. And I didn't have experienced teachers or advisors around me to mentor me on that. So I decided to create my own conceptual framework on out-of-body experiences. I created my own parameters, and I adjust them as with each out-of-body experience. So I've categorized out-of-body experiences in a few different types. The one I'm going to share right now is I categorize as a mystical out-of-body experience. Those are often so much fun and very magical. Another type of out-of-body experience you can have is one in which you connect with your loved ones in spirit, and I have had those. Another type of out-of-body experience you can have is for travel adventure, where you view and observe amazing landscapes and other dimensional frequencies. When we have out-of-body experiences, we actually go to other dimensional realms. Right now, I am talking to you on the earthly dimension, which is right now the third 3D dimension. So when you hear me refer to the 3D dimension, I'm referring to our earthly life, what you and I can see, sense, smell, feel. It's very tangible. It's very concrete. But when we are in altered states of consciousness, like in our dream time or deeper states of meditation, a part of our consciousness can leave our physical body and experience and have adventures in other dimensional realms. There are infinite number of dimensional realms besides the earthly plane that we exist in, and these vibrate at different frequencies. And most people are not able to, are not acute enough and perceptive enough to pick up on these other dimensional realities. It's probably a good thing. We probably would be overwhelmed. But there are some humans that can become aware of other dimensional frequencies even as they're walking about their daily life. For me, these connections usually occur in my sleep state at nighttime or during deeper periods of meditation. And so we are multidimensional beings because we have this ability to travel to other dimensions. And it's not really our conscious level that travels to these other dimensions. It's another level of our consciousness. We have many levels of our consciousness. You may have heard of the conscious level, the subconscious, and the superconscious. I'm not going to get into all that today, but just to make you aware that we're very complex beings. And we have multiple levels of consciousness. We have concurrent parallel lives in other dimensional realms. I've experienced this firsthand quite a few times during my lucid out-of-body experiences. Now, all of us have out-of-body experiences naturally in our sleep state when we are relaxed and our ego is not controlling our actions and our thoughts, when we have no fear and are less inhibited. But there are only a few percentage, a low percentage of people that can actually remember the details of these out-of-body experiences. And I'm one of those types of people. What happened was in 2009 when I had my spiritual awakening and I raised my consciousness level, became more aware in my day-to-day life, I became a lucid dreamer. And I became more aware of my sleep time. So that happened to me naturally and spontaneously as a result of my spiritual awakening. I did not try to promote and activate these out-of-body experiences. They happened to me naturally. And I've heard that it is my spirit, that level of my consciousness, that actually decides what my destination points are going to be during these out-of-bodies. Okay, so now you know more about the multidimensionality of human beings and a little bit about my background. I'm going to go into the details of this out-of-body experience that I had. And again, I'm chronicling it because it is a mystical out-of-body experience. I'm not going to explain the details leading up to this out-of-body because I think they're a little mundane and it'll be confusing to the issue. So I'm just going to pick up when I start to remember that will be relevant for you. I became lucid in this out-of-body to find myself standing outside my elementary age house that I lived in, okay? And a teaching point number one is that many times in out-of-bodies, the platform which you have the experiences could be your childhood home or your early adulthood home. The setting of your out-of-body experiences can occur in a very familiar past setting like that. And that has been the case for me over the past 10 years. So I was in front of my childhood home and I was looking up at it and it was nighttime and it was dusk. And then I walked along the driveway on the side of the house to the back of the house. And now I'm standing in the back of the house in the backyard and I'm looking up at the back of the house. It's a 2-story yellow house. And I could not believe it. I'm noticing a beautiful semicircle of about 6 large trees in the back of the house. And these trees are enormous. They're super tall. they could be the height of a 6 or 7-story building. In the earthly plane, there was no such thing as these trees, okay? But in this out of body, there was some sort of tall semicircle of trees there. And then my eye became drawn to the middle tree, and it was massive. It was the tallest of the trees, and it had a huge trunk. And I was looking at it, and I was just so in awe and mesmerized by the size and breadth of this large tree. And before you know it, after a few seconds, the tree falls down right in front of me. It doesn't collapse the house somehow. I don't get hurt. It just falls, like you can say, face down right in front of me. And then I notice a man running around like furtively or with energetically at the base of the tree, like he's doing something. And now the scene changes, okay? That's a second teaching point for out-of-body experiences. You can have a very quick scene change without a reasonable transition or a sensible transition. It's just you're in one place 1 second, you're in another place in the next second. And that's how some out-of-bodies roll. That's happened to me quite a few times. And I'm in a corner lot on the street of the same childhood home. It's a wooded lot. It's just like a parcel of land on a corner, and it's just a parcel of like woods. And this man is there, and he is medium height, medium build, blondish hair, not really clean cut or trim, kind of long. His pants are kind of baggy. His shirt wasn't tucked in. I don't want to say he was sloppy, but he wasn't like Mr. Clean Cut, but clean enough, of course. I share these details so that you know how lucid I was. And he had fair skin, and he tells me right away his name is Garrison. And I appreciate he told me his name because many times in out-of-body experiences I have found, this may be different for you, the beings that I interact with, the people I interact with on these other dimensional planes, they're not forthcoming with their personal details, including their name. But he told me his name right away. And so then I say to him, "You must be the keeper of the trees." And he says to me, "Yes, I'm the keeper." And then he says, these trees are like my puppies. And then I look and I see this very unusual arrangement right where we are. It's an unusual arrangement that's very deliberate of the tree trunks, and they're winding through these specific holes, and they're coming to a meeting point in the center. It was intentional, but it was very unusual. I could not understand the science behind it, and I was trying to during the out of body. But let's just say it was unusual. It was an unusual tree root growing arrangement. And in the center was a pear-shaped tree trunk about the height of 4 feet. And it didn't have branches and leaves. It was just the trunk, okay? And it actually looked like the diffuser that I have in my house, which has wood trim, artificial wood trim on it. But it was that kind of pear-shaped. And so I felt guided. I sensed that I need to connect with this tree trunk, and I heard telepathically it was the hub. And so I put my hands on the side of this hub, and I become quiet and still, and I'm just totally feeling this tree trunk. And I felt some very light tingles go up my arms. And I had the urge to ohm, but I didn't ohm, but I wanted to ohm. And I told Garrison, I feel like I want to say ohms. So then I went back to just basically touching this tree hub and really just connecting with it. I didn't receive any conscious psychic downloads from it, but I just needed to do that. And I forgot to mention one point. When Garrison introduced me to himself, and he said his name. He also said the reason why the tree fell was probably because I was looking at it with awe. That's what he said. That was the reason why the tree fell. I was looking at it with awe. Okay, so after this connection, where I'm sensing the tree, holding it in between my hands, this tree hub, the out-of-body just ends, okay? And upon waking up, I was very thankful for this out-of-body because it was mystical. I felt like I had some connection with the tree element. And to give you a background, in the 3D, my 3D life, I love trees, I love nature. Ever since my awakening in 2009, I felt a heightened awareness and connection with nature. I find it so soothing and comforting and peaceful, helps to rebalance me. And during my walks and runs outside, I will often take my hand and brush the sides of bushes and touch the leaves or the branches that are low lying. So I do have this very, I don't know how you say it, just a feeling connection with nature and the trees. So I was very thankful for this out-of-body, this lucid out-of-body, because it showed to me, the teaching point that it showed to me was that I received validation for what I was feeling during the day in my earthly life and the connection I have with nature. This connection carried over to another level of dimensional reality, and this whole mystical out-of-body experience played out. So that's it. That's my mystical out-of-body experience. I hope that's helpful to you. And again, you can have different types and scenarios of out-of-body experiences. This one was very memorable to me, and it actually was very heartfelt. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps you understand yourself better, your multidimensional nature, and the type of out-of-body you may have. Please share any comments, relevant comments about this subject. I would love to read it because we all learn and grow together. I look forward to connecting with you again in the near future.